Things are heating up in the PC bracket. Hello everyone and welcome to Roulette Rivals 8, and tonight's match is a PC winners bracket round 4 between Papierfresse and Pigiero. No co-caster at this moment, but Yannini will be joining me hopefully very shortly. This match is a first to 6 affair, the first round in the PC bracket where the threshold is increased, because in this tournament, this is not the first tournament, but this is a tournament where we have this distinction. The earlier rounds are first to 3 now, and the later ones before the final are first to 6, so we could see up to realistically 5 but potentially 6 maps. First one being the Isle of Sgáil, which will begin in just under 2 minutes, and that is picked by Papierfresse. Then we will go to New York, chosen by Pigiero. There are both players live right now, so that's great to see. Yeah, a very nice thematic profile picture from Pigiero. Should be his previous match against Eclipse, where he had a very unfortunate Mumbai death. Very reminiscent of the good old Mario dying to the train. So now there are 2 players dying there. So thanks to Mando, our match admin today, we have that there, and there's Yannini. Yannini DM, he might not join me. That will keep you posted during the first map. But yeah, 1 more minute, and we will be here for a while, at least 3 maps of course, so there are plenty of time to talk about the picks and the bans. I think very quickly about Sgáil, it has to be said that it is Papier's statistically best map with 3 appearances and 3 wins, which is now 4. I think our stats didn't update somewhere, but still his strongest 100% map with the most appearances. And at the same time it's quite poor for PG, but at the same time he has a lot of experience, a recent experience as well on this map, so I don't think any of the maps can be a given either way, but the first 2 maps you'll see tactical selection there, and one player definitely favored over the other. 15 seconds until the first spin. A very huge round 4 match for both of them. Papier already in his best ever tournament, and Pigiero also trying to get that top 5, which is guaranteed with this win. First spin is here. Zoe Washington next snap as Jebediah block. Sophia Washington Seppers X as custodian. Block is always nice to see, one of the trickier disguises to get, depending on what disguise you end up near that area. For example, if you are trespassing, then a peekaboo is viable for him, otherwise you would have to panic him some way or the other. Custodian will be very easy to get, or just starting like Pigiero does. The Seppers X is it's my biggest gripe with the map personally. I always switch up the Seppers X and the Viking X, but the Seppers X should be in the penthouse, with the Viking X being next to the Entertainer. 2 years on this map, I will never learn these, but we'll see very shortly. Pigiero starting with the Seeker strategy, getting Zoe in this bathroom, and that will be for the Jebediah next snap. Nothing wrong, nothing special with that kill at least. Meanwhile, Papierfresse says opening strategy is also something that's very typical Papier. Started with the Meme Junkie, probably, but Papier learned from him, and then others use this strategy as well, starting as Arc Member and Seekering Zoe and getting the guard this way. This is already an isolation on the first target. It's variations to that first ISO, very nicely done by both, and really hard to compare the 2 players at the moment, because they are doing very different things at the same time, and very similar in-game time for both. Both will be able to get this radio isolation at the 1 minute 50 mark. and holding our breaths here as I give a bit more game audio to Pigiero. Let's hope he doesn't get into any gunfights to deafen me. But both getting the radio timing perfectly, so that will isolate, that will make Sophia isolate in this room. Now the way they will get Jebediah might prove tricky if they are going for peekaboo, and PG might just do that because he's trespassing in this room as the custodian, but as the elite guard Papierfresse is not. And the body placement for Sophia will be very peculiar there, and could prove crucial, especially if the constant is going to come here through this room, which is likely to happen if they stick around for long enough. But it is for a bit later. So we have Zoe and Sophia both isolated for both players, so that's 4 out of 4 there. And now they are going for the rest of the spin, the disguises and the weapons, and PJ gets caught changing disguises by the other roaming elite guard, and that's a huge setback. Papier now has a 3-minute lead.
Let me see if I got this straight. The chairwomen run the arts.
Meanwhile, Peppy will be approaching that Sepper's axe, which is probably the only viable disguise to get with the elite guard. Wonder what or how many KOs will he do around this part.
You've got to be kidding me.
I think that just the one will be enough. This roaming enforcer is always tough to manage, and then a precise throw on that balcony. Hope that you don't lose the axe there. Question mark shouldn't matter. I don't think anyone's really enforcing this, but of course you have to get out of the hostile area. And Papier will be keep dropping the axe down step by step, floor by floor, and eventually he'll reach Sophia's room. And then he'll only need to get the custodian, and this will chain up very nicely with the other kill, because if you bring up the custodian to the radio room and get the Sophia kill, then the room is empty again and you can peekaboo block in here. But what will be the custodian Papier is going for? I think we can focus on him for a bit, because PG is unfortunately 3 minutes behind and will be doing the same thing he has done in the last 3 minutes. Papier has to dodge this super enforcer, but he's far enough away so that won't be any issue. And he's staying outside. Will he luring someone behind these crates perhaps? I didn't look at his inventory fully. So I wonder what kind of sedative items he has, because he has to have at least one calmer. He's using the coins. It's another typical scale strat. But the custodian's not biting, and at that point it is going to start costing him some time. And the coin throw is heard by the raider, so that's another bit of setback. Not going to say PG can catch up just yet, because it's a 3-minute lead anyway. But step by step his advantage is diminishing. We'll just go for the... It's probably one of the very few times that you do the MOC isolation. The people, all the 3 people KO in this room, but you don't need the MOC and you don't need to get Zoe in here. But he has the custodian now, and after some panic, I would say, he's back on track to get that first kill, followed by that very likely peekaboo. PG is 305 in his run after both targets isolated and the agency pickup acquired. We're taking the stairs up to the top floor. And that's a... so what body that might be... Oh, of course that's the elite guard found by the other one. No, it's found by the constant. Now that will be interesting for the late part of the spin, if PG gets there at least, because this will make the the constant exit with the helicopter. I'm almost sure. I haven't really played Scale in a bit, but this should be the trigger to get him away there. As Papier, with the Sophia kill, is not opting for just a peekaboo. He will be full-on isolating block here. He is trespassing. It has the Seeker in there, which will bring block over to the ledge. He won't leave this area. Has 4 coins to turn these NPCs around. And then 1 trank shot to make it count. But it seems to be enough, as long as the roaming guard doesn't see him, and the coin won't be finishing. This will be close, and gets it by less than a second. Papi gets a second disguise, and that is huge, and maybe the map winning move. Absolutely very close. And that's basically the end of the spin for him, because Zoe isolated at the bottom of this pipe. The guard has already been taken care of. 1 next snap away from all objectives down. The searching won't matter because that's only block. And he may be trespassing, he may be turning these guards around. He definitely does, but wasn't far enough, wasn't close enough, or wasn't too close to get those guards turning. Now they do, and get some suspicion going. Still trespassing here, and some runs do end up here, but throwing 1 last item may get the job done. And there he is exiting with the first try, 8.5-minute run. PG just can't quite do it. That 1 restart will settle it. And the first 2 points are already awarded, so that's scaled down.
0-2.
Absolutely huge move by Papier for not a lot of time gained. Indeed, he could have waited just a couple extra seconds to get a safer cover to change his skies from, because then none of the roaming raiders would see him change. But eventually worked out, and I didn't see the Discord, but he is indeed very relieved that he got this first map, with the block grab being the defining move of this first map. But the first of many, at least 3 maps for sure, because first to 6, as I mentioned before. Papi is not on a match point just yet. And Scale might have been the expected win for Papier, but now we are going to New York, which is the expected win for Pigiero. Look at the map records there, or the map performance rather. 10 wins and only 3 losses for Pigiero. That is his second best win rate with 77%, with Miami being the first one, his best map statistically, but that was the Papierfresse ban. And on the other hand, Santa Fortuna ban by Pigiero was on Papier's best map as well, so tactical picks and tactical bans both sides. Of course, not only the 10-3-0 on the right hand side, but the 1-0-0, only 1 New York played by Papier, has been an aspect of this pick. Of course, you can also mention that what do the picks or the past results count in the New York situation, because we have a completely new map, a new New York. That's what others have been mentioning before, because now we don't only have the target restriction, the Athena Savalas kill and disguise, but the data acquiring method is now specified, and you need to have a different disguise for that.
This is the vault, 47.
You have a 50% chance of being required to pick up the 3 data discs in a different disguise to the kill method, and a 50% chance for a mandatory data core exfiltration.
Can you just go and check it out?
Yeah, I suppose I can't talk about it in just a couple of sentences. It's not my match, so it shouldn't really be about me. But my 215 from the World Championship is, of course, under the old conditions. It is simply a next snap as a security guard, and there is just no condition that will break this this record in the tournament. Maybe we can theorycraft one with the essay, speedrun would be the injected poison, investment banker kill, I assume. And then probably something really obvious for the data discs. Could be close to the 2-minute mark, but it won't be beaten this time. And of course, if the map remains under the new conditions, I really appreciate PG just getting into shootouts every time between maps. So of course, if the conditions remain this way, then that will warrant a wipe of the leaderboard. But as mentioned before, this is a one tournament test phase, and then this will be discussed after the tournament if this new New York is here to stay or not. 2 minutes to go, and a bit about the history of the two players. I have it in here. Papierfresse from Germany has been in 3 rounds. He's been only one of 2 players having to start in round 1 because of the 33 player bracket. 31 of them could start in round 2, but the 32nd spot had to be decided between Papierfresse and Blythe, the RR7 PC champion, who surprisingly lost the German battle in the first round, and Papier went through, and after that Goulet and Max Masters both fell to Papier. And that was 6 maps won and only 1 lost by Papier, and I think that had to have been the Blythe match. I don't have it in front of me. Meanwhile, Pigiero was unbeaten before this spin. He beat Yannini and Eclipse 4-0 both times, but now he has a loss here. But of course, it's a first to 6 match. You can have a loss or 2 in here, and previous match of the day featured a 6-4 win, so don't even have to fret if you are 4 points behind. New York coming up, and very tiny update from Yannini. Okay, so I got good news and bad news from Yannini. He might come in 25 minutes, he might not come in 25 minutes. It's a very good, very specific information. We'll keep it alone if that's the case, but we got a great match going on, very fast paced so far, and I don't think New York will prove any different here. 7 seconds until the second spin.
Duel starts in 10 seconds. 9.
And here it is, Athena Savala's security guard with the kitchen knife and data disks as the obtained data objective as the IT worker. I was really confused by New York, but I guess I'll apologies, it's still a new maps, new conditions to read, but security start seems very obvious here, and perhaps an Athena kill in the first 2 minutes. And then it's just a back and forth all the way down to the IT worker and all the way up to Athena and exit C, obviously, if that's the case. But both are starting security, and Papier going upstairs, but not with the kitchen knife. He went past that room, and Pigiero is getting the IT worker, focusing on the data disks first. So both are going against what I would think, but they have practiced this map and I haven't since the changes, so all power to them. Now if the EMP in Pidgey's hand is very likely for the evidence, and the longer New York gets, the better it is to have the cameras deleted soon. So I think we'll see that very shortly, as Papier is already in the office with the isolation. 2 Chanks and 1 KO, and that might turn red guns. Still no red guns for Papier, but it will be the case once he gets close enough to Athena. Very smartly not picking up the data disk, the biggest challenge of New York. But we'll be getting the CEO keycard. And since Papier doesn't have the kitchen knife, which would have been only a 5-second detour, unfortunate for him that he did not do that, he would have the kill down already, and with potentially a very big lead. Now PG with the isolation, and he of course cannot get the kill because he doesn't have the kill disguise here. 2 Chanks here as well. K on the third.
Are you all right?
Waiting for Athena to leave the chair. I think that will be good enough. Now, can he pick?
That's the first backup data
Okay,
disk
I
is
did
short.
get scared
2
because
more
I
to
thought that
locate.
Pigiero is not allowed to pick up the data disk, but as the IT worker, he's not allowed to kill Athena, so have to get used to this. Red guns for both players, and now the excursions have begun.
Go inside.
Papier.
Don't
Oh, Pigiero's trespassing on the top floor. Of course, you don't expect to
This is the
exit
vault,
that room
47.
with a different
There's a
disguise,
caution
but
behind that large steel door.
it is a very costly rip by Pigiero. I think the other thing that is on my mind that with the mission story, with the Wi-Fi mission story, you do have access on the top floor, but I think it's not this simple or not this quick. You need to wait a bit more or do some extra steps. I think Pigiero just missed those and just forgot that he cannot take the main doors outside. So Papier now again with a 2.5 minute lead. No kill, no discs, but now he's going for the IT worker. That seemed very awkward and almost...
Director's office. I feel like giving that bit.
Okay, I'm holding my breath here because this can be very bad, but the other IT worker doesn't look towards his partner and somehow Papier gets away with it. Still red guns, but still only on Athena. 2 maps, 2 really close for the German. And now Papier can go for the discs. Still on 0, of course Athena is in her office. 3.5 minutes into the run. That would mean both Matteo and Fabian on the same floor, talking or just finishing talking about the security breach. The kitchen knife is an illegal action, but the tellers didn't look there. Still looking good for him. And sure enough, there is Matteo. We'll be looking away from Papier.
That's the first backup data
So there's the
disk
second disc.
2 more to locate.
And then Fabian is in a likely trespassing area. Is he going upstairs or down now? Oh, that's a snail isolation. But so of course you have to look at the start of the run. I don't think it's... So of course it was the snail ISO on Fabian, turning into the infinite loop for the guard. But I couldn't argue that it was either beneficiary for Papier nor that it was deliberate. So I don't think that's any intentional. Yeah, it will be standing. Gets back the security guard disguise and gets the kill, but not before getting the last disc as the IT worker. And with a 5-minute run, might be just under 5. We see the finished already, and I'll be refreshing him very shortly. Race to the line. Will it be sub 5? Indeed it is. A 4:59 for Papier, and we'll be taking the second map as well.
Excellent work, 47.
Well, sensing a theme here with Papier.
Every quarter.
The really close, really clutch plays. Still keeping it alive for the run. Still keeping it first try and defeating Pigiero's second try on both maps. And now it is a 4-point lead after 2 maps played, and Pigiero's only hope is a reverse sweep 3 maps in a row without Papier winning 1. It's looking like a tall order there. So I would have been called out if I had a co-caster, but I'm very much behind, but without one I can just call the action as I see it in the past. There they are with a refresh, and Papier is already in Paris, just getting these first steps right again. As of RR8, you know all the maps in advance, but still it is quite a task to have them all memorized or have them all ready for the match, so I can perfectly understand players just practicing these couple minutes before each spin so that they fresh for that new spin. Pidgey is out, and I can see it on replay. It would be around the 4-minute 20-second mark. He would have the in-game time, but does not have the real time over Papier, and that is 2 maps to 0 now. So Paris next. Already a match point after 22 minutes. We did expect this to be a high level match. Perhaps we didn't expect this to potentially finish in half an hour. But the next maps have a similar trend going. We'll see it on the stats. 6 spins played by Pigiero in Paris, 3 wins, and let's say 58% win rate, which is right in the middle of his map performance. I apologize, what did I say? It was never going to be against PG. It's probably on Papier for the 2 quick wins. That's what happens with the quick matches. If someone has a quick lead, then they were just quick to finish. Apologize, it might just be very bad for me out of context, but back to the map performance. So PG has the experience here. PG has the wins in Paris, and crucially a lot more Paris experience than Papier, and that we will see in the future maps as well, which I'm not allowed to tell, but it is in the matchups channel. So starting in Paris, which was neither picked nor banned, PG needs a win here to get back closer to Papier. Technically a tie also keeps the match going, and PG would know about a tie in Paris, because in the World Championship he and Kei Kaneta brought us the first ever 0-second tie. I can't tell who had the 2-second advantage and who had the 2-second loading time advantage, but they did end up with a 0-second difference and got 1 point each for that. If that were the case again, then Papier would not be winning the match. He would need 1 more map win, 1 more point. We could have a second tie, of course. But realistically, it's about the map wins. 20 seconds to go. And after two season 2 maps, we are going to season 1 now, and the one where it all started, and one of the most popular maps for Roulette, one of the most picked maps for Roulette. We'll see another Paris spin. Viktor Novikov, Assault Rifle as Vampire Magician, Dalia Margolis, Fall as Tech Crew. So does this mean an epic start is, I think, the main question of the day, and an immediate excursion for the Vampire Magician disguise, or still starting Tech Crew and get to Dalia first and perhaps Victor a bit later. Papier starting Ethic but not going for the Vampire Magician. And quick restart there. Pigiero keeping the Tech Crew disguise, and we could see the now usual Dalia strat, the Dalia lure down 1 floor, but he's not doing a second lure, and sure enough he's just bringing the guard down, and Dalia will be unattended. And if you close the door and KO and dump Dalia, then that's the first kill down under 1 minute. But you will be trespassing in the auction floor, so you will have to take the same pipes down and likely have to dodge an enforcer who is taking care of an accident, a death. We'll see about that. PG gets the first kill. Jacks a bit before dumping. As Papier has the disguise and is waiting on cycles of these cicada bodyguards. And PG will not be taking the PG will not be taking the Yanni is in here. I heard something.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, territory a lot delay, but hello.
Hopefully now the match is really starting. But would be a shame to have you for 1 map, of course, or 2.
Well, let's see.
So have
very
your
interesting.
cat up, or let me know when you have it.
Yeah, I will do that. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so for now we can see Pigiero dodging all these NPCs on the top floor while just passing as a tech crew, but already has a cicada disguise and will be going for the vampire magician. Also got the assault rifle, so he won't be bringing in a silenced one. As Pigiero with the upstairs lure for Victor. This will be something to see. A very quick second kill.
Oh,
If
yeah,
he remains
very
in-
nice. Yeah, I'm all set up now, so I can fully take part of the fun.
Yeah, and you were very loud, but I have taken care of it, I hope so.
Oh, sorry about that.
And it's not your, it's mine.
Well, let's see though. Yeah, shapes are interesting. I mean, it's an interesting thing, I think. Dahlia Fall, of course. I mean, depending on what you do, there's not a lot of balconies in Paris. Victor, like, Vampire Magician's always an interesting disguise, so, you know, it's nice to see.
Yeah, and this is probably the new best way to take care of Victor as the magician. People are asking in chat how Pidgey have done it. After starting Tech Crew, he did one bullet distraction on the ceiling when it all started with the fireworks, and Victor didn't go for his firework tirade, but went to check out the distraction upstairs. So this is perfect timing for him, and has a disguise and will be a loud kill, but if he can hide it, then that's all good for him.
Indeed. It's a bit sketchy, but looks to be good. I'll see. It should work out, I think. Danny, meanwhile, Danny, sorry. Getting into the Papier scaling. Yeah, in the Sheik's room, so yes, can get that disguise, throws him up easier, and then Pidgey got the loud kill. Now guards are panicking, but he boxed him and no one saw. So long as he can get out of here somehow, he should be looking very good.
Yeah, that was close for 1/2 second when one of the guards could have routed towards Pidgey, and there was some suspicion meter there, but will be working out for him, and is happy to take out or get back to his non-trespassing disguise and only dodging enforcers, and down the pipe will be the exit for him. Of course, Papier's already one kill down as well, so it's not quite as easy to tell who will win, but Pidgey is really fast
especially
now.
because he has to be okay. Well, the guards are settling down now, so it's easy to predict how they'll move, which makes his way to the exit clear. But Papier is also not that far away. He's a bit behind for sure, because Pidgey just has to slide down the pipe and is there. Meanwhile, Papier is still climbing up the pipe, but it's not. It's definitely in photo finish territory.
Yeah, they are on the same balcony, which Pidgey is now leaving and going down the pipe. Papier has entered this balcony, and I mean, this is not a long kill, so
It really isn't, no. But it is a significant difference, especially because these two players are both on PC, and now Pigiero is exiting, and Papier will take another like 20 seconds, so it's looking very good for him.
yeah, PC on PC won't really see a lot of photo finish changes. This is a very likely Papier first try. I wouldn't be surprised
Also, yeah, some troubles now too. Some troubles getting to the actual exit. Yeah, I think that will not cost him, because I don't think he would have caught up anyway with the photo finish. I think that will make it clear that that is unreachable. I mean, I do think it's in the photo finish range, but I do expect that to go to Pidgey pretty clearly.
Yeah, I think this setback for Papier was that his 15-second loss turned into a 25-second loss, but I don't think we'll see a surprising result here, and we'll be very likely going for a map 4.
Very nice. Yeah, glad that I'm arrived and it's not over already. So that's pretty cool.
That will be really rude to just, end 6-0 win and then you just say hello, but that's not the case. Glad to have you, and at least for one map, which, well, I think I'll spoil that it's Whittleton Creek so that we can just ease back into it.
We would see that on the overlay very soon anyway. And I mean, from a view perspective, of course, it's always cool to have more maps, to see more maps, especially it's sort of entertaining and good players. Just love to see more.
Yeah, and this is what Roulette is really all about. If I can use the cliche, if it gets to these 6 points and 5 maps, then it's really about who can get a series of maps better and not just of course, the randomness of roulette over one map is of course its own phenom, but the longer match are always greater to see.
Exactly. Even randomness, varies out over the long run. And Papierfresse has forfeited the photo finish because this 30 seconds is just too big of a
To 4.
thanks Diana. Too big of a difference to catch up. So that means score is now 4-2, as you can see, and next opportunity will be in just under 5 minutes.
It's good that we are spared from those 5-10 minutes of stories about nothing while
For sure.
looking at staring at Mando typing in the match of channel. We are spared of that. And we will be seeing a map number 4 in 4 minutes, Whittleton Creek, and this will continue the same story I was mentioning about PG with the lot more performance. Of course, he started in 2020 in the World Championship, so he has done 2 group stages and 43 matches in the past. This is 44th, and Papier, of course, with lots less experience. This is his 3rd tournament, 16 matches, 15 so far, and no Whittleton. This is one of the 4 maps that he had never played in Roulette Rivals.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, even the 3 tourneys, there's just a lot of maps, 80 maps. It's really a lot, and especially if you don't tend to like pick. Like if you don't have to, you don't tend to pick like all maps. So like you don't have that many picks anyway. But like if you have 3 tourneys, you don't want to go through all of them mostly. Because every player has maps with better or worse on. So yeah, we can't really tell anything about Papier's performance on Whittle Creek. Don't have any data on that, but very interesting to see that how it will play out.
Yeah, Papier has really impressed me in this tournament, and I would not be surprised to see him practice a lot for his matches, because he has done just so well, starting with the Blythe win, and then of course I said Goulet and Max Masters were his 3 wins. It's a nice almost crash by Pigiero, just freezing the game for a second.
Love to see it.
But yeah, so about his practice, I would assume that he practiced all 3 maps for his shorter matches, and then at least 4 or even 5 for the longer maps. It wouldn't be surprising me.
Sure, I do think so. And so maybe I think Parrot was really close in between 30 seconds, and Whittle Creek. I would say Whittle Creek, a similar style of map. You would in previous turns you would have always that 430 node and garage as well, and now we have so many opportunities on this map. We have a seeker on various points of Nodeless route, influence that, and we have peekaboos and other peekaboos. The Reef Crash strat like from I think Moon innovated that. So a lot of stuff that you can do here on this map, and it just depends really on the spin, because just so many disguises. But it's a compact map, so it can be kind of quick.
Yeah, the way this match has been going so far, the first try will be taking the map in about 5 minutes. But big question is who will be that person with the first try. Of course, if both are doing it, then we are looking at another photo finish.
I think that's a fair assumption, yeah. I don't know, in Paris, but was very close, very clean. So I do expect that to happen here as well. Of course, you never know what happens. The spin in particular could throw them off, just like a little condition, something like that. But yeah, that's how roulette is, That makes it fun.
Yeah, and I don't think this map has a lot of new things. It has one definite new thing with the battle axe, and then
for sure
we've had the Nolan consumed for R7. I think is one of the sort of new ones, and then of course falling object, but really not a lot that is dreaded or infamous, I think, still in Whittleton Creek.
I do think so, yeah. You have to really look out for those. If you have no idea of how to do consumed or falling object, then you're gonna have a hard time, but I think it should be totally manageable, yeah.
Well, we'll see if we have one of these. I think now it's definitely your turn to say a spin or
Thank
two.
You. I will then. We have for Janus a loud SMG as position, and Nolan Cassidy with a loud explosive weapon as police deputy. Okay. I mean, well, that's interesting. That can just set Nolan up in various ways. Could influence their decision making for sure.
So going loud there, but you could also go no loadout, which is like not really a case in regular roulette. But it is some sort of important to say that at least the loud SMG could be spared because the Janus bodyguards have it in that household, so you can just bring in as many Janks as you want. And I think PG's inventory definitely doesn't contain a loud SMG. Papier also had some dart guns.
For sure. Immediately got caught. That's a lot of distraction shots. This is a very nice trank by PG. Did not get caught. So yeah, that's a very fast position grab. I mean, I talked about Nolan being able to set up, but you really want to get that position disguise first things in the map. Well, at least that's what what people do, because there's one time that you can easily know how to get him, and later it just gets more difficult. So it's nice. They both have the disguise now, and looks like both on the way to Janus.
Yeah, they could have been setting up Nolan there. It's just naturally the meta, and if you're going for the quickest way, like real-time wise, which requires the less thought, you just get the politician and kill Janus, because there's the loudest SMG as well.
I do think that's a smart approach as well. I'm not sure if otherwise it would be faster. I don't really know. It's definitely a good idea for sure. And if so many opportunities to get Nolan anyway, then I'm sure it won't make a difference if it's like a live kill or setup kill.
So talking about the loudest SMGs, they did indeed both bring up the two-handed one.
Yeah.
And that's a combat by Papi.
Wow!
I think that was delayed on the pistol.
Yeah, looks like it. Turned around and then spotted him still. I mean, that's a problem with the speedrun and him trying to go too fast here. But, oh man, that sucks. That's honestly, it's quite sad.
And he had the right idea.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Because they will be seeing that the climbing up there with the loud SMG. So of course makes a whole lot of sense to turn him around, but just tiny bit too close to the action and tiny bit too quick to enter the aura of the deputy.
Yeah, very much so. For sure was a bad idea, but very unfortunate, really. But now Pidgey with a nice, comfortable lead. This is interesting. Gunther was so delayed that Janus was already leaving the gramophone again before Gunther arrived, was just really a lot of like a huge problem. Now Pidgey missed Janus, which is really not good. Ooh, that's a nice shot. Can he? Oh, but he got to instruct the guard to take care of that, even though the guard didn't hear that. But some VIPs really don't like to check anything out. Janus is one of them.
Now, could this be just be simpler to just use the gramophone again, or is it just one and done?
It's a good question. I really don't know. First of all, I have to be careful not to get caught up by that enforcer. He could still isolate him downstairs. With taking care of Gunther, there should only be that one guard in the kitchen. Oh no, it's a loud kill. I'm sorry, my bad. With a loud kill, of course, that gets a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I wonder. I think downstairs you have to be a bit more careful, or just go to the basement for soundproofness. If you do the kill upstairs, then getting rid of the cards inside is more than enough. Still a lot to do here. It's probably the gramophone for the second time is better, but Papi has to restart again, and PG has even more time to do so, even if he...
Wow, what a crazy match, man. Tried to save it, but then the enforcer came in and ripped him. Ah, man. That is, even a bigger lead for Pidgey, but he still doesn't have anything down, so, his lead hasn't shown in the game actually yet. And he's leaving a lot of bodies around, which is okay. The problem is, just be careful that the kill isn't hurt by anyone, because then
it's very likely, yeah.
And that would set him back by a lot.
And another issue for PG now, which is not ripping him but setting him back, is the fact that it's now 4 minutes into the round. The garage is not happening, and is that wall hack? It is wall hack, yeah.
I mean, kinda, yeah. I mean, honestly, that corner, I think I've been ripped there twice as well. Because it's a really weird corner. But that just sucks. That doesn't look like it should have ripped him at all. That is really unfortunate.
So despite the Papier 2 restarts, he is now in the lead because it happened as time ago. And if he can do it, then he has the match, but this has been anything but a straightforward spin for both of them. And now PG on the politician struggle bus. It is not easy to get his first try, and he cannot get it for the first try after the restart.
Yeah, I mean, it's a back and forth, really. PG was doing quite well, 4 minutes in, struggling a bit, but still promising. And now Papier, after this, I think, fourth restart, maybe it's onto something here. Got the Peekaboo guard into this bathroom. It's interesting. I guess he's trying to make sure that he has time enough to box Janus. Would be my guess, maybe. Yeah, he's gonna really want to take the whole top floor to make it, to get really be sure that works.
I would even be guessing that top floor I saw in the room. I think downstairs shouldn't hear it. Of course, that's the...
I mean, now someone's gonna go upstairs because the camera found the call my god.
Yeah.
So someone is gonna come upstairs.
With the enforcer dot. So I have to wait it out from behind, and yeah, that's the case. And not even a quick revive will ruin this plan for Papier. And another guard down, of course, it's even better for him.
Yeah, I mean, it should really not be heard, I think, but let's see about that. They're also loud SMGs. It's so funny it just occurred to me that like all the guards in Jane's house have loud SMGs, and they both brought one, but I would have done the same, I think.
Yeah, it's not
to target that a loud one?
What is the loud one?
The Papier by the kill up here. It looks like a single shot thing, but I'm assuming you have the right one. I don't think.
Maybe just shot and dropped very quickly. I did not see it, but it seemed like the original tech, the TAC.
True. Yeah, just me being paranoid, about wrong kills and wrong stuff. So, of course, it should be totally fine. So yeah, that was very nice. Got his first kill down. Got the first clue as well from the basement. He's making his way to Nolan. He has quite some good time. He has 1 minute left till he enters the garage. I assume that's only what's going to get going for, which really just would make a little sense. Just needs to be careful not to trigger to make dialogues here, but he has time to maybe, if you want to get a police deputy, guys. In the meantime, if not, that's also totally fine. He can play it safe. He doesn't really know that, but he can.
So he is 1 minute 20 seconds behind, and getting a deputy shouldn't take that long, but if he's taking everything a bit slower and getting the deputy after the ISO, then it could get close with the photo finishes and whatnot, and PG with the one-handed SMG gets the kill.
Yeah, but very nice.
They are kept by Nolan, so this will be really hard for PG to overcome.
Very true. Very true.
Still not opting for the KO first, wants to turn him around, but now gets the KO. His nemesis here.
At all. Yeah. Now Papier has waited out patiently. Has not picked up the goddess guy. Remember, it's totally fine, especially because of the remote kill. Because it doesn't need to go back to the garage, which makes it even less of an issue. So let's KO him here, set him up, get the clues, get the guys, get out. Should be a fairly simple and forward plan.
And by this point, loud firearm kills are not as much of a problem anymore, let alone a loud explosion, which is just detonated the exit. With the garage door closed, I don't think the kill will be any issue. The two clues, of course, still remain, and Papi is going for the latter.
No,
he's going for the... Is there a car bomb here? There is some sort of explosive weapon in this room.
Oh, there it is. Interesting. He didn't bring one. Okay. Well, that makes sense. It will take him additional time to get back to the garage and set it up. But I haven't paid attention to his inventory that much. But yeah, definitely some reduced space.
Pigiero is getting another corner wall hack sort, but on Betty this time. And I was going to say that this excursion by Papier and having to get the police deputy, Pigiero is making us some really serious time here.
It might be he also doesn't have a police deputy, to be honest.
That's true.
It could have been actually nice, if you would have had the time, would have been a nice opportunity to catch up on in-game time to like get a police deputy in the meantime. But it looks very strong for Papier now. I don't see how that would go wrong now. I don't want to jinx it, of course, but it really looks very strong for him. Got to pick up the third clue here, the cigar box, and now I said that and was like, okay, exit now, but he still needs to disguise, of course. So it's
For
not,
once, he
not
cannot
home
exit
yet.
after picking up the cigar box, but he's a fairly straightforward deputy pickup away. He needs to lure him into this shed. He may be just passing here. No, he will be luring him around the corner. That's also very fine.
Be fine, yeah.
Yeah, it's not 100% to finish from here. It never is, but Papier is getting really close now.
For sure. No, it's always an option. I don't have a Trank anymore, but should be fine with the normal lockout. The feeling is the last thing that could go wrong, but it doesn't, luckily for him. Now I can really just run to the bus stop and exit. Looking very nice. Looking like a 6-2 win for Papier. There's a kill.
A military detonator wins the match for probably the first time in Whitsuton Creek. But Papier exits with the loud explosion kill and wins the match 6-2 indeed.
Sounds likely. Congratulations!
Yeah, very impressive.
Very clean, yeah. It's one interesting start with both players having some issues. I mean, PG only had one restart, but it was so far in, and Papier had many restarts at the beginning, and then just, had a good plan, executed it cleanly from there on. I just decided the match here. Very nice.
Kind of typical that the one map we said that it would come down to the player with no restarts would end up being the map where both players had at least one restart. But it's only 3 across the board, and yeah, just in general, a very smooth play by both.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. For sure.
Papier asking for photo finish. I think we are getting close to the 47-second mark.
I do think so. I mean,
always
it was a nice run by
heartbreaking.
PG and he's gonna finish, but yeah.
Right there. And it's just the worst feeling ever when you are almost finishing, but get a score that the match is over and the winner's bracket run is over for Pigiero.
Kind of feel for PG here. Finishing it and being told, nope, you lost. Have fun in the LB. But yeah, I think we're gonna play by both. I think it's definitely a worthy round 4 match.
Yeah, and looking like an even worthier round 5 for Papier. He will be playing for Mendo. He will be playing with Mendo for a place in the top 3 and the winner's final. I think this is both of... for Papier, he had 2 17th place finishes, so he'd already beaten that with round 4. They are now both top 6 with Mendo, and one of them will be on the podium of RR8. I think this is a really big moment for them and a huge match later this week or early next week. But yeah,
sure.
PC bracket getting close to the top. This being match 50 means that PG is down to play some familiar faces there, Mikulas or some random person playing in losers round 4, and he will play the winner there. With Mika, Frivolous and Zerun in the other quarter there, so that's like the near future for this side of the losers bracket.
Yeah, looking very nice. Papier Mando, I mean, I think they both really deserved it. Just played so well. And I'm very excited to see what's gonna come out of that.
Now, I didn't see the Fenium Isle of Hitman match in this channel, which got me worried. It might be raiding a match that's already finished, but they are not raiding us, so it's my turn to raid indeed. Yeah, what a match, and so glad that you got to join me for the later half of it.
Yeah, at least for that half, yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, pleasure as always. Thank you, Mendo, for adminning this one, and yeah, good luck against Papier next round. And thank you everyone for watching, and of course thanks to the players for this great match. And yeah, as you can see, the next match is here. I guess I can say this one extra sentence here, that next match will be, if the Fenium match ended, next match will be at 6 p.m. Central European Summer Time, almost a day from now. So of course tomorrow afternoon one sleep away for everyone, and then a very stacked evening with the Frotmu, Blythe versus OHS, Buffguy versus Ducker, which will be on this channel tomorrow at this time, and then Mika versus Frivolous in the late night for Europeans. But this might have been the end of this Tuesday from everyone, and yeah, thanks again, Yanni, I guess, for joining me.
For sure.
And see you guys for the next match, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.